What is up, Pulse X, FX Freedom family? My bad. Let me just start that over. What's up, FX Freedom family? Bob Beckett here. Super excited. We have 3 freaking things that we work with all the time. So, which one are we at now? Hopefully, you guys are doing fantastic. This is Tuesday, 3/28/2023. That is March for those who don't know. And we're super excited to be with you tonight. Tonight, we're going to be going over order blocks and liquidity and all that fun stuff. We have the amazing, the awesome, the rock star, the amazingest trader ever, Christian Suprean, in one of these boxes over here. What's up?
What up?
You're supposed to like go with.
I was actually reading this question, so you caught me right in the middle of reading the question. There's normally a large pullback, and should we increase our stop loss? All right, it looks like he's talking about after the trade idea, so my bad. But what's up, everybody? Yeah, I got some things that I was planning on doing today as far as like entries. Not really. If I was trading order blocks, me personally, my favorite way to trade is out of 4-hour order blocks, but that's a little bit higher than for me to go to 4-hour order blocks to where the entries are at with just order blocks. I would have to start at 15-minute order blocks personally. So if I was just trading order blocks without going with something else that we do in our higher situations, I would be trading out of 15-minute order blocks, dropping down to the 1 minute. And that's pretty much what I prepared tonight to show you what could have been possible just this week on GER30, doing that and looking for breaks of structures and trading out of these order blocks once we hit a 15-minute order block. But yeah, I don't know if you want me to share my screen or if you want to
so what we'll do is we'll have Christian do it. He's going to be super high energy tonight and just run through it. And then as he's doing it, if you guys just ask questions, the good old DAX, right? We love the GER30 too. It's funny, like in our little coaching sphere that we got going on, I'm like the NAS guy. Bethany's like US30 and Christian's like the DAX, the GER30. And I don't know why that is. I don't know. For some reason, I clicked on that. I mean, I know GER30 did some things yesterday, and I clicked on it, and I was like, oh, wow, look at this. These order blocks are beautiful all the way up. So I figured it's a great training on entries as people were asking for, and I like to give the people what they ask for. That's why we like questions, right? So we know that we're training on something that y'all need. If we don't know what y'all need, then we just try to guess on what y'all are training about. So that's why I love questions so much. But here, let me let you share. Here we go. So let's just get right into it. I don't want to waste your time. Like I said at the beginning of this call, my puppy's having puppies. So super excited about that. King Charles Cavalier. I know people are going to ask. We lost our first one, who was a little girl, and we got 3 boys so far. It's happening literally right now. There could be like 3 more. I have no idea. Every time it goes bloop, like that, it's $4,500 on the table. That's not. It's a life.
Up,
I care about the babies, right? So anyway, super excited to have you guys. So let's just jump right in. I'm going to look at probably, I don't know. You guys tell me what I should back test and look at. I didn't get a chance to look at everything like Christian here, but which is what I like to do because we can teach a lot faster. But all right,
go ahead, bud. So cool. Yeah. So basically, like I said earlier, I love to trade out the 4-hour order blocks. That's my favorite way. But if I was trading order block to order block period without adding some of the higher things, I would be trading personally out of 15-minute order blocks, dropping down to the 1 minute. And that is actually what we do anyways, in a way. But for right now, we're coming up here, right? We're on GER30. We got a 15-minute order block right here with a gap, right? I'm really not that worried about any of this kind of thing right now. We do have an order block right here, this little red candle right here, but not too big. I'm wanting this gap to, me personally, I'd be wanting this gap to be hit. That breaks right through that order block. If it breaks right through on the 15, then I'm not dropping down. So that just broke right through that order block. Then whoops. I don't know why my thing's been doing that. I might need new batteries in my mouse. So
just so you guys know, we talk a lot about pip stacking secrets, which is the pip stacking indicator, which is our bread and butter. We will literally get everybody in who are interested in order blocks, and then we build off of that, right? So
he's about to use this right now in 1 second.
Yeah. Okay. So what he's doing is literally the pip stack. It's not perfect. No indicator is freaking perfect. In fact, we're like anti-indicator unless you know how to trade it with price action. That we hate lagging indicators, all that kind of stuff. If you know how to trade it with price action, though, that's not lagging, you know, but he'll show you how pip stacking will layer on these order blocks. I just want to preface that. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to do this part clear with the 15-minute and hopefully maybe like show. I was meant to do some other things, but I guess I forgot. But I was going to mark all these up and show what they are. But since since it's both of us now, I think I just want to go through this. So we came down into this 15-minute order block right here, right? Boom. I dropped down to the one right there. Drop down to the 1 minute. And I'm looking for structure breaks. Either structure breaks up, or I want to start seeing lower highs out of this 15-minute order block. I want to start seeing highs and lower highs and higher highs and lower highs start to make, and then some confirmation back up in other order blocks. So let me turn pip stacking on now. So now I got pip stacking on. We're in the we're out of a 15-minute order block right here. And I'm looking to trade out of 1 minute, these 1 minute order blocks. Once we start breaking structure up, that's the key, right? Either start breaking structure up or start making highs, lower high, higher lows, and higher highs. All right. So as of right now, we came up, made a little bit. I wouldn't call that a high because we didn't break a structure, but we came up. Now it looks like we're starting to make a higher low, right? But we'll see. No, we didn't, but now we did, made a higher low, got a higher high. We broke up, made somewhat of a higher high, came up again. Right now we came up again, right? We got an order block down here, came down. Now we see how we hit the middle of this order block right here? We just hit this green, middle of this green order block. I'm in on this particular one. Since we hit the middle of the green order block, that's what is mitigated. That's a buy order block. I'm in right here. Sometimes I want to wait for 2 confirmations. You're going to hear me show that. But if I'm hitting the middle of the order block and I get a wick like that, I'm in. So that's my first entry right there. And I go for 1 to 3s. That's just what I do. I find that 1 to 3s are the best. Boom. Right up to a 1 to 3. All right. So now
Beautiful.
We're still breaking structure up. All right. We're still breaking more structures up. There was a little entry in here, but I'm not really worried about that. Breaking structures up. But now we're waiting for some other, let me put it on 3, waiting for some new order blocks. We got some order blocks down here that we need to hit, but nothing else, right? Nothing else really ready up here. All these are mitigated. This means it's mitigated, right? So now we got this one right here. Let's see what happens. So we didn't get 2. So if we don't, let me go back really quick, because this is where, and then you'll see in future things, but I just want to show this, why I didn't get in right here yet. All right, so if I don't hit the middle, the dotted line, that's mitigated. If I don't hit that, I want 2 pushes up. So if this would have been the first confirmation candle, if I got another green right here, I'm in. All right, that's how I enter off of these order blocks if it doesn't hit the middle. If it hits the middle of the deal like it does down here, which would be mitigated and gives me a nice wick, I'm entering right off of that. But if it doesn't, I want to see 2 candles, 2 confirmation candles. It doesn't give it to me, still doesn't give it to me. Now it's breaking lows. So now that we're breaking lows, okay, we need to see something else break. We need to start breaking up or break out of this order block. So now we broke out of this order, we mitigated this order block right here, right? And now since we mitigated this order block, got 1 green confirmation candle, another one, we came into this one, but not all the way down, right? Got 2 green confirmation candles back up. We haven't broke anything down, but I'm good with this order block and this order block right here. Double confirmation there. Let me get it on 10 now that we're in. All right, so smash, another 1 to 3. And you can go for however much you want, right? Me personally, I go for 1 to 3s. And I think it's a sweet spot as far as like risk management goes. I don't know how much we want to get into risk management on this because that's probably more for the higher ups, but you have to have risk management or you'll never be successful. So if you're just going for 1-to-1s, you'll really never be successful, in my opinion, long term. And if you don't have any type of risk management in play, that's more than likely why you haven't been consistent yet. All right, we got there. Agree. All right. And just one little nugget on that, as far as risk management goes, you have to have, in my opinion, you have to be risking a certain amount, a certain percentage of your account on every single trade, whatever it is, if it's 0.5% or 1%, 0.25%, whatever it is, but on every trade, in my opinion, you have to risk, the same percentage. That's the only way it's going to work. I'm late. Is that the 1 minute chart with 15-minute order blocks? No, this is the 1 minute chart with 1 minute order blocks. But what we did was we're trading out of this 15-minute order block down here. Once we came down to the 15-minute order block, we dropped to the 1 minute and started trading the 1 minute order blocks back up, is what we're doing now out of that 15-minute order block. All right. See, it's the thing. That's why I would freak out if I had to use this pip stacking thing. Y'all really, in my opinion, if you do need to use the pip stacking deal, you still should put it on and then just use the rectangle to color it. Boom. I can't do that. It would take too long.
Yeah, it's mainly just there to teach you.
But take it off, because it just, if you have it on auto, it's just, that's just too skinny for me. This isn't terrible, but I like to see the candles out more. All right. So
what's up, Delilah?
What's up?
Dahlia Henry. What's up? What's
so
up,
yeah,
Brian?
so mitigating a bunch of order blocks, but we continue to break up, right? So we're all these red deals that you see here, we're mitigating sell order blocks, but we're still breaking up. And I'm not really worried about that. She's blessed. That's awesome. All right. So now we came down, and what we see here is we came down and we broke this little structure. This was a higher low right here. Made a little bit of a higher high right there. We broke the structure down. I want to see that broke before we look to enter. And break, not broke. All right, so now we broke that. Even if it was a wick, I'm really not that worried about it. But I needed to see that break before we enter. Don't ever, is another pretty good nugget you might want to write down. Don't ever buy when the last structure that was broke is down. Don't ever sell when the last structure that is broke is up. And if you don't really know what structure is, I just put a video yesterday in the chat, just scroll up or whatever on structure. You got anything to add on that, Bob, or is that kind of pretty much explanatory though, huh? All right, so looking at this, let's check this out. All right, we're coming down. We mitigated this little deal here. We didn't, so we mitigated that. We're still looking at this. All right, so we mitigated that. We're messing around in here, right? We got 2 greens up, another green up. Once we came down and we didn't break this and got that green, I'm entering right there. I know it's not 2 greens in a row, but basically it's this red wick again that didn't break. This came up, didn't break that, and then that green we're in. So actually, I don't know why that's right there, but whatever. Boom. What is this? Explain that some more. Explain what some more. All right, so as far as breaking structures, so if you see the last structure, so structure is every time the chart basically changes. So this came up right here, right? Stopped and reversed a little bit and came down. So structure right here. This came down, made a lower high or structure. I just call it all structure. Some people get freaked out on that, but it's basically a higher low. Sorry about that. Higher low. It's higher low than this, right? Then this came back up here. Once this came back down and broke this, right? I'm wanting to see before I buy, I want to see something break and then retrace back into another order block before I buy. I want to see it break back up in our direction. I don't want to buy off of the last structure down, be broken. I would never be looking to sell. Let's say you see this is an order block right here. This was the last, or it made a new high, right? But in all reality, that's the last structure broke, but it made a new high. I would never be looking to sell without this, like in this area, without this being broke. But right now, we're just looking to buy, basically. So in right there. All right, that would have broke even. All right, so let me explain that. Why is this not stopping? All right, so that would have broke even. So basically what I do, or what we teach to do, I don't know if we teach that here, but we'll teach it here now. If you get a 1-to-1 and you break a structure up, so right, you see how this came down, we got in, it broke this structure up, and we're actually got all the way up to a 1 to 1.88. You put your stop loss a little bit in profit, or basically to break even, but just a little bit in profit. So if it does come down, you don't lose any money, not right on the break even. So this is a break even right here. All right, so now we're breaking structures back down. You see how we're breaking structures all back down, all back down. We came down into this area. We didn't hit this order block yet, but now we created an order block. We came down, we're breaking structures down, but look, we made a little high, a little higher low, broke this, and we broke this little last lower high right here, right? So we're starting to break a couple structures up, came back down, didn't totally hit. Can you see that? We didn't totally hit that, what you call it, plus we didn't get a wick. So I wanted to enter off of the second. So we got one green candle out of this order block, second green candle out of this order block. That's the entry. Two confirmation candles. That's my entry. This one takes a little bit, but it ends up hitting, I believe. Yeah, boom. And like I said, I just go for 1 to 3s and add a 1 to 1 with a breaker structure. I put my stop loss at a break. So that's that. Now we came all the way up here after and I don't really layer in trades. So I'm not looking, once I'm in a trade, until I hit the trade, I'm not looking to add entries personally. Some people do that. I'm not. I used to do that, but I don't know. I think I've broke my addiction to trading, and now I'm addicted to taking as little bit of trades as possible a week. Like, I don't even think you know this, Bob, but I'm basically done for this week on my main account. Hit one yesterday, hit one today. I'm done, out on that account. Now, if I trade again, maybe on a little live account or whatnot, but other than that, it's all good. That's that. Now we're just waiting. So we broke this structure up, but we came right back down. See how we broke that structure up, but we came right back down, and we broke this, and we're making lower, started breaking these structures down and making lower lows. So we wasn't looking to buy out of this until we get a structure back up. We need to wait for something to break up. Still breaking down, starting to break up a little bit, but breaking back down. We broke back up here, but now we're waiting for something to come either in an order block or make another order block. And then we come down, right? We broke a structure. We came up, messed around, broke back up again, smashed back down. This didn't give us any entry, right? We came in this order block, gave us one green candle, but not the second. Then we went down, gave us, basically we could, on this particular one, we really could have entered right here, but I took the second candle, but we really could have entered in here because this wick went into the, mitigated it off of that wick, but I put the entry right there. And that basically smashes too, if I remember correctly. Or maybe that's a break even too, or maybe that took, yeah, this one took forever too. But that ended up, I believe, hitting somewhere over here or at some point. But either way, there we go. Came all the way up here. Let's see. How do you know to have order in place on your chart? How do you know to have order in place on your, I'm not sure what that means. Do you know, if you could specify that question a little bit? I'm not sure what you're asking right there. I'm sorry. All right, so now we're basically in the afternoon. So let me go to the 5-minute. And basically that was just on Monday, right? So just on Monday, you actually, if you would have stuck with it just on Monday, me personally, I'd have been done. That's 4 1 to 3s with a break even on Monday. If you just stick with, and that's pretty ridiculous. And the thing is, like Bob was saying, we don't really like to use we want to see price action. That's why we want to see breaks of structure, right? We don't just trade off of these indicators. We use the indicators I don't really have to use the indicators for the order blocks. I'm using this so y'all can see it, but you have to wait for these breaks of structures. That symbol of risk reward. Oh, how do I know to have this already in place? Oh, because basically somebody asked us about entries. I was expecting about an hour and a half before all this, 2 hours before this, Bob didn't know if he was gonna be able to jump on because he was being a veterinarian. I was planning on already just chilling, being the sidekick like I normally am for tonight. So I went and did a little back testing and made sure I could find really good entries for y'all. I could have a really good training in place for y'all. So I basically went to work so I could have a good training in place. But this is exactly, if I would have just back tested, this is exactly what I did when I was back testing. I just wanted it to be all right. All right, cool. All right. So I'm just going to get to the next day, because once it gets to be the afternoon, I don't trade like really too much in the afternoon and Asia. That's why, because it just goes sideways, right? I mean, it really just messes around and goes sideways. So I'm just trying to get to on a 5-minute chart to wherever something starts to shake out a little bit without and do a whole bunch. All right, so let's go to the 1 minute now. We click auto. All right, so now we're shooting up. We finally start breaking out all this consolidation. We're shooting up. There'll be a recording of this. Yes, sir. Yes. All right. Yes, there'll definitely be a recording. All right, so now we're breaking structures up. Now I'm waiting for something. We're still waiting for an order block, right? This is a sell order block. I'm not trying to sell right now. We're still breaking structures up. Whoops. Why does it keep doing that to me? All right, so my bad on that. All right, so we're breaking structures up. And we gave us an order block down here. Came down into it. Didn't hit all the way, right? Yet. I was waiting to see if we got a second deal, but we did. I don't believe we did right there. No. So we did not get, I would never enter, because I enter on candle closes myself, right? Now, if this would have hit this middle line, I would have entered on that wick, but it didn't hit that middle line. So I was waiting for a second confirmation. And that's definitely not a second confirmation. That's the opposite. I would say that's the complete opposite of the second confirmation candle. So then we came back down. And now we wicked it again. We didn't break this. You see how we came up, came back down. We didn't break that. This, I know this isn't a green candle, but this big wick, red candle right here, hammer, that's the reddest candle that could be a bullish candle, if that makes sense, right? So this would be my second. This is my second confirmation candle right here on this particular one, because this wick didn't break that. It hit the top of the order block. So this would be my second. Boom, right? That was coming back up and then smash. So that's my entry. And then smash on that. This is crazy with the way these having to keep moving like this. All right, so that's that. Another smash. Now we're smashing back down, right? We're coming back down. We're coming back down hard. We're into this order block down here. And we're double, like we came down in to this order block. Really, in all reality, we could have, I must have missed that once. So we could have got in right here, actually, on this one. No, because we're breaking structures down. Never mind. We're breaking structures down. So we need to break something back up. I believe that's what we're waiting on. Yes. All right. So now we broke back up, right? So I know we didn't break, but we broke this back up. Now we're waiting. Now we're going to look to get in on this retrace. Oh, I guess. I don't know where I got in on that one. I messed myself up when I move it around. So that must have either been a break even. Or we'll just call that a loss. Let's call that a loss. All right, boom. There's a loss for y'all. So y'all know that we don't only win. And if you ever hear anybody say, hey, look, we only win, then run the other way. So that's a loss. Sometimes you got to be okay with getting a loss. All right, so now we're starting to break back up. Now we're breaking back down. So there's really nothing, right? So we came down into this order block, right? Got one candle back up, but nothing back down. Came back in again, got one candle back up, but not a second confirmation, right? That's why we didn't get in. I just want to show that's why we didn't get any of this. Now, this one, I know we got a green candle and a green candle, but that's not even into the order block. It might have touched the top, but I ain't messing with that. But none of these gave us any second candles, right? It just kept breaking down, and it was making lower highs. It never broke this, right? This did break, but then that didn't break, which if it would have gave us a second candle, it probably would have broke that, and then it probably would have went. But so we continuing to break down, and once again, right? So we did break structure back up. We came back down into this order block, but only one candle up. This one kind of gave you two, but I guess it would have been either which way. So now, look, so now we came back down, went all the way down. This was a higher low, right? Came up and broke that structure. Now we came back into this area of this order block. 1, 2. I'm not sure if I would have counted this as that's like probably the greenest bearish candle there is, right? But then 1, 2 green, you get in right there. And that was a break even as well, because this came up and broke this. We got to a 1 to 1.12. So you would just put your stop loss at break even. So that broke even. Now we're breaking structures back down. We got to start breaking structures back up. There we go. We're starting to break back up, right? We broke this, then we broke this, came back down, came back up, made a higher high with some higher lows, right? Came back down into this, one green, 2 greens in right there. That smashed right there. Now we're breaking down again. This one loses. Whoops. So this one right here, we started breaking back up again, right? We came into this little red order block. We started breaking up and we broke this, but probably I took a chance there, but I was saying we'd get in one of these and that one ends up losing. That's a loss. Now we're breaking structures back. Golly. Breaking structures back up, right? We come all the way back down. We double tap this bottom thing. We also take this little liquidity out because this was something, right? They had some order blocks. Tap the top of this with 2, coming back up with big wicks. And we really, so in there, boom. Why is this not pausing? All right. So once again, we came back up, making higher highs and higher lows, came back up, came down. 1, I know we had a second red candle, but we got 1, 2, and then this should be up here, actually. If it's, that's obviously going up. I know we had a red little pause in there, but that's obviously going up. So I'd get in right there. I think, I'm not sure if this one hits or hits a break even. Yeah, break even on that one. Because that came to a 1 of 1.48 and then broke down. Sometimes you can see, here's the deal. Just so you're looking at this, I'm not saying that this is what I would, on this, we're going to call this a break even. But if you see something come up and it wicks right here and you look over and you got all this nonsense over here, right? This is like a high over here and it didn't break and it came back down and it wicked it again and it starts breaking back down. Once it breaks structures back down right here, you might as well just get out, right? Even if you're not even at a 1-to-1, just get out because more than likely it's going to go back down to the break even because it hasn't broke that and it's not letting, it's making a little double top here to go back down and break structure. But that's up to you. I just figured I'd throw that in. I think that might be it. Yeah, that's it. Because now we're getting into 12 o'clock. Yeah, so that was it. But here's the deal, right? Just trading out of that 15-minute order block, trading with the trend on the way up, waiting for breaker structures, back into the order block, the 1-minute order blocks, and taking 2 confirmations. We had a break even, +3, -1, so that's a +2, +5, break even, still +5, -1, +4, +7, +10, +13, -1, +12, +15, +18. Sometimes I wonder why I do anything else, but +18 in 2 days with the tools that y'all have. Do you have anything to add to that, Bob?
No, I think you did amazing explaining that. Guys, you have I think the moral of the story here is breaks of structure, right? And what structure are we looking to break? Little order blocks on the 1 minute, right? And using the 15-minute as not only as a entry area, target area to enter, but also you could look at them as, if you're one that likes to hold longer, right? They also make great areas to target, right? For your take profits. People are always asking, like, where should I take it to? The greatest way to do it, honestly, if you're going to hold trades, is to like literally look at the higher time frames for taking profit. So Any questions on that, guys? I think you did an amazing job explaining all that. That was a lot more than I expected you to do. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. The one thing
Just so
that
you
I
guys
did,
know, Christian does like how many calls a week between Paul Sex and our one-on-one mentorship?
8.
8. So
Yeah.
he does 8+ hours of training. So like I hit him up tonight, and he usually jumps on these with me just to hang out, but I try not to have him do it like this much training but tonight we're having my puppies and it's just slow. I didn't even think I was going to be here. So I was scrambling trying to get something ready, and I just wanted to show up for you guys. And thank you so much, Christian, for sharing that with us. Really appreciate it. I'm going to go over US30 and gold really fast. And then any kind of questions that you guys might have, feel free to ask in the chat. This is your time. I want to make sure you guys understand this 100%. I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently, but not much. I'm going to be showing here. Let me just
say this real quick.
Okay.
One thing I just forgot to even show and do was how I got the stop loss. Now I got to take profit just because I go for 1 to 3s, but I got my stop loss not different ways. But basically all I was doing was putting the stop loss either under the actual order block we're trading out of, if it was a bigger one, or if there was one right below it, I'd put it right under the middle of it. So if it was like an order block, let's just say it's an order block like this, a bigger order block. I know this is a right order block, right? But if it's a bigger order block and you're getting in right here, I just put it like right below it. But let's say if it's like one of these, like it's one of this little order blocks right here, I'd take it and I'd put it right below the next order blocks, the middle of the next order block, where it could come mitigate this order block, but you still be in, if that makes sense. All right. I just wanted to add that because I did forget to say that part. But either way. All right.
Good stuff. All right, guys. All right. Hey, Christian, great job, man. As always. Fantastic job.
Thank you, bro.
Bethany was even considering jumping on, but she had some kind of a situation this week. Pray for her. She's going through some stuff.
Yeah.
But with that said, let me just jump in here. I don't want to waste your guys' time. I tend to talk people's faces off, and I tend to talk fast as well. So that's why there's replays. Thank God for replays. So with that said, here's gold, and I'm just going to start on, this was Tuesday. Wait, that's February 20. Oh, my bad. I just didn't even look at that. So this is actually February 23rd. I thought it was actually this week, but you know what? It doesn't matter. So here we go. So basically what I did was I outlined a 4-hour order block, right? And why is this a 4-hour order block? Because we had a break of structure, right? If you look up here, this was a 4-hour order block too. It didn't really mind it. The last red candle down for an up move. I guess it did mind it. So like on the 1 minute, you could have taken a nice trade out of this box for what? 100 pips, right? Gold is awesome. I love gold. I love the movement of it. And if you're new, I used to tell people not to trade it if you're new, but if you're new, just use lower risk and a little bit bigger stop and get used to the movement, right? Same thing with US30, NASDAQ, German 30, all that stuff. If you're new, just use lower risk and always be careful. Like obviously trade demo, practice, do all that kind of stuff. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you to go use any real money, but you can do your own analysis in your brain, how you want to do that. But if you check this out, so last red candle down before a massive up movement. This is a nice banker's candle pushing up. There's so much freaking orders going up in this. The bulls are literally taking control. And what do we have over here to the left is, guess what? There was that order block that was here. And what I always tell people is supply becomes demand and demand becomes supply. So guess what happens here? Basically, this becomes an area that I'm interested in to break, and this closed above this area. So I'm going to mark this one up as well. Essentially, this one was weakened, right? But this one right here closes literally above this right here. So now my interest is very high for it to pull back into this 4-hour order block and look for an entry on the 1 minute with more order blocks. What do you know? Just, you know, I'm going to leave pip stacking off today, but pip stacking shows the same order blocks essentially almost every single time. So again, I could just set an alert here on, I could just say add there. There's an add alert when I'm not in rewind.
In replay.
Yeah. So I could add, you can add alert here and just say, hey, this is all I do. I don't sit at the computer all day, guys. If you take anything out today, just like literally set an alert right above this order block, go add alert, and then say, and then be very descriptive, right? Say hitting the 4-hour gold order block, look for buys. Simple as that. And if you're expecting or getting break of structures back up, it's essentially a great opportunity to start looking for buys on the way up. Let me go ahead and move my chat over here so I can make sure you guys are with me. Just to make sure, I want to see who's all active right now. Go ahead and put a 1 in the box right now. I just want to make sure you're understanding what I'm saying and you're loud and clear and your guys are with me and understand. Okay, cool. Lots of you guys. Okay, perfect. Just want to make sure you guys are still here. Okay, cool. Norm Jones, what's up? Sam Murray. Great. All right. We're going to wait back. Pretend that this pulled back in. I think this was one. Wait, hold on a second. Am I even? My bad. So right here, you would have, this was an order block as well. So as soon as, excuse me, my dogs, I might be going crazy right now with the other dogs, but look right here. So this order block right here, this was actually a nice move. I don't know why I marked this one up, but if it did come into this area, that would be a great block. But guess what? This was too. Why? I want you to pay attention very closely to this right now. So you have this block right here was the one right before this break of structure. That's very important for you to understand. Okay. So there's a good chance that if it comes down to this block, that it will respect this block. Okay. So from this area originated this push, came back to this area, to this block, and then you drop down to the 1 minute. So I'm actually going to do that one and show you. I didn't have that one ready. But let's just look on the 1 minute. Let's see if it even lets me. It might not let me. Okay, it did. Let's just find the block. So where did it actually touch? You might have had one loss right here. Okay. You had, no, they never broke the structure really up. So this wasn't a block that I'd be looking at. So there's no structure. And when I say that, okay, look, it's coming down, it's coming down, it's coming down. You had a little bit of thing here, but this little wick passed this wick, right? So it had momentum. So I'm not counting this one as a block. Oops. What the heck? This is going to be good, I think. All right. I can't figure out how to get rid of that. So once this comes up, we're doing that. We're coming back down. We're coming back down. Lots of orders here. And then, and whenever you're seeing this kind of stuff, be excited. Wait for the breakout to happen, but don't necessarily be a breakout trader. Just wait to see if it wicks out the bottom. So this is exactly what happened. It came down here, wicked out the bottom, filled all these orders. The institutions basically forced price low before going up high to force people to sell at a low price. That's what I should say. Now, with that said, now this block is definitely more important to me. I don't know if it hits this one or not, but we'll just go ahead and mark it. Because why? Look at this little red area right here. And when I have a wick behind it, I might just grab the whole thing. This little red area right here, just mark it, was the origination area that broke all this. So it all started right here. So there's a good chance it could come down to that block. Let me just see. I don't know if it actually does. It could just go up from there. We'll see. But basically, I didn't even have the whole thing done. So it basically tapped right there. So essentially you can get in. Now you can get in on the tap. You could set a pending order. You could put your stop right below there. You can, there's so many ways you could do it. You can put it a little bit even lower just in case it wicks it. You can look left. We go 5 minute. Let's see if there's anything over here. This is what I do. All right. You see this wick over here? You could put the stop. You could have a little bit bigger stop. You don't have to be a hero all the time, right? You don't have to have these little 1 pip stops. Like you don't have anything to prove other than like you want to grow your bank account, right? At the end of the day. So you see how I just made this still not big. I made it a lot larger than just like directly under the stop loss, right? I'm not thinking that I'm like some superhero, superstar that could freaking nail this every single time. And I may be wrong on this one. I have no idea where this happened because I did this on the freaking 4 hour. So let's just look. The target, if I go to a 15 minute, if I look up, right, would be, this would be my area. Essentially, if I'm going to hold, I don't really hold that often, to be honest with you. I'm more of a scalper. But if I was to hold, that would be like my area. So this may or may not hold. I'm not 100%. And that one just smashed. Okay. So right here, if you held that whole trade, that was a 1 to 7 with a decent sized stop. Consider it's not really that big of a stop on gold, but if you were to put it directly under here, that'd have been a 1 to 14. But how many times are you going to hit a 1 reward when you could just be safe? You could even if you put it here, look, it's not the greatest move. I've put it below this low. It's not the greatest move. Still good. Oh, that's too high. So let me look at the 5 minutes, see if there's something else. So see this little thing here? You could have put it under there. That's what I'm always looking at. There's this little tiny area right here that could potentially be, just make this go right because I'm missing all these right here. Template, open. There we go. Extend. Okay. So there's a little area right there that you could add that little extra layer of protection. Because now if you're thinking like, okay, this is like multiple moves ahead, like in chess, right? The ones that are really good could see multiple moves ahead, and also they can see their holes, right? So a hole in this area would be below this low. So there's literally 3 different chances for it to come down and reject a different area, right? Before it goes back up. So I could have put it right there and had an easy 1 to 4 right there. Does that make sense? Go ahead and put a 2 in the box if everybody understood what I just did there. I just want to make sure everybody's understanding. Okay, 2. And if you have any questions with that, this is your time, because I don't want to leave you in the dust. I know a lot of people are going to be like, what just happened? I have no idea what just happened. And I remember I used to listen to this stuff and it was just crazy. So here's the thing. If you want to hold, now this kind of left, this kind of ran away, right? So you could actually go to the higher time frame again, and you could look, okay, if this takes out this liquidity, where's the next area that it could possibly go to? And you have this block right here. So I'm constantly looking at 50% of these blocks. So let's just see what happens there. All right, so that didn't hold. That would have, if you held, it didn't hit the stop. It actually, I don't know. It actually hit. Okay, so cool. Now, once this breaks this structure up, what are we doing? We're not trying to be a hero again, and we're not trying to take all these counter trades back down, especially if you're not consistent yet. What I tell everybody is if you're not consistently profitable on at least a monthly basis, right? I'm not expecting you to be profitable every single week. In fact, if you think you're going to be profitable every single day, not a trade, you shouldn't be trading, because literally you got to look at trades as a basket trade, like a basket of wins and losses over a period of time, not daily. I have so many students, so they get so frustrated. They're looking at like the short term, and they'll be self-destructive in a way where they'll actually destruct and self-sabotage themselves because they had a bad day. So screw it, I'm just going to have a really bad day. There's power in walking away from the trade and walking away from a loss. That's a win. Because how many times, for the sake of this, you don't have to say, put a 3 in the box if you have blown an account because you had a bad day, just because. And then all of a sudden you're outside like me. I used to do this all the time, believe it or not. All of a sudden you're outside, like walking the dog or something, and you're just like, why? What is wrong with me? That's just built into the system, right? And in the institutions, they play us like this. They know exactly how we think, right? I don't know if you've ever seen that picture where it shows like the emotions of a trader. I don't know all the words of it, but it just, everybody's like in, and they're getting in at the top, and all of a sudden it comes down, and they're like naive about it, and it's going down farther, and they're like, oh my gosh, and then they're losing their house. Now they finally sell when it's all the way down here. It's the same kind of thing, right? You can't beat the system. And until you realize that it's the only thing you can control is risk. It's not about the entry. The entry is just a tiny percentage of why you win overall. In fact, like in our one-on-one mentorship group, I have a training where I went live like this, and I flipped a freaking quarter. I don't have a quarter on me. I flipped a quarter, and I have all our one-on-one mentorship students do this. You might want to try this to practice your risk reward. I have all our one-on-one mentorship students do this at one point when they're ready. I will have them log every single trade they take, and I will literally say, okay, right now, flip a quarter. And if it's heads, you buy from here. If it's tails, you sell from here. Okay. And you stick with a specific risk management plan. Okay. I put a post in the group today. What did it say? That just comes out of people all the time. The biggest thing we battle as coaches is people's emotions, right? And their risk management, and every single person's different. Every person needs a specific different based off their personality, right? Because I always tell everybody, you can't really change a habit. It's very hard to change a habit, but it's a lot simpler to instead of changing the habit, to create kind of barriers, if you will, right? To not allow you to actually go ahead with that bad habit, right? So maybe that's getting up and taking a walk, or start contributing things that you actually love to replace those things. So instead of like over trading, maybe you love doing push-ups. I don't know. Maybe it's walking the dog. Maybe it's doing something nice for your wife or your husband or something. Do something positive instead of wrecking your life, and then create that habit. And the more you do that, the more your brain subconsciously is going to start like replacing a negative thing with a positive thing. And then you'll start sticking with your trade rules. And then what will end up happening is you'll have a lot more profit. And then all of a sudden you're rewarding your brain with, oh my gosh, it actually works. So I can go on for days with this. Let's see, trading is 90% mental. Absolutely. Absolutely. If I look at that post I did today, it said trading tip. When you say I missed this trade, always confirm it's a trade that is according to your plan. Don't judge based on hindsight. Just because the market moved doesn't mean you can get in. Not every move is your move. And that's true. There's so many people that they think, oh, I missed a trade. No, you didn't miss a trade. That just wasn't your trade. That's all there is to it. There's so many trades. There's so many trades daily. It's crazy. I can glance at NAS. That's my baby. I was trying to avoid it because I always show NAS, but I have no problem doing that. Let me just go. I thought, did I just literally delete all my, no, it's up here. Okay. So let me just go forward. I freaking do that. Just go daily. Man, if you would have just held that trade down here, my gosh, you're rich. Someone's a very happy person right there. All right. So I'm on the daily. I'm not going to trade on the daily. I just wanted to show you this, my markups. I just did this while Christian was training. So hopefully this makes sense. So here's a 4-hour block right here. Why is this a 4-hour block? Because this area right here broke, this originated right here and broke through with these massive freaking candles. So eventually I'd be very interested in this area, right? Potential area. Nobody actually knows. Everything's speculation, right? We're going down. Why am I not putting the boxes up here? Because that's counter trend trading. Now, do I do it? Yes, because I'm consistent. That was my point originally. If you are not consistent, don't counter trend trade, right? Just don't do it. It's not, there's so many trades that you could take where you can get your 1% a day or whatever your target is, that you don't need to counter trend trade. You could just wait for that good trade and freaking just take it when there's a lot more momentum with you versus against you. So right here, let me see what happens here. Hold on a second. All right. So basically, yeah, you could have looked right here because it almost tagged that little block. But right here is a very important block. Why? Because we had a lower low, lower high, lower low, and then broke through with a massive candle. Very interesting area for me right here. Okay. I don't think it came down here. Did it? So I have marked up liquidity. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything for you guys. I just did it play by play while I had it. Forgive me for going over tonight, guys. I know it's almost 9 o'clock. I'm trying to keep them shorter for you guys. So do I have your permission to continue, guys? Put a 4 in the box. Let me know if this is boring your face off or not. I just want to make sure. Otherwise, maybe this is too much. Like, I don't want to give you guys too much all at once. All right, so right here, if you see this block right here, very important block. Why is it an important block? Because it broke this structure, right? Super important. Nice, fat, long green candles pushing through, right? And it came all the way down here, right? So very important. Let me go down to the 15-minute now. So I believe I have these as the 15-minute blocks. So now I'm looking for entry, right? So on the 15-minute, I had a nice strong break of structure right here. And I could actually drop to the 1 minute and probably enter it in this area as well, but I just wanted to be more realistic here. All right, so we have this nice area right here, this nice area that needs to be tapped. And what I'm looking for is this liquidity to be taken out. So you have this structure going up, then they left basically stops orders down here to be filled so they could force buyers to sell at a lower price. And then right in here is where we're looking for an entry. Okay, so we're tagged this area in the 15-minute block. Now we're in the 1 minute block. Okay, now where is the area of interest? Okay, so we have a nice little tiny pullback. Yes, to count that as a pullback. If you need to, you can go on like the line chart. Oh, I don't want to switch that. I'll lose my recording, I think, or my replay, I think. But you have a lower low, lower high, right? It had like a pause here, lower low, lower high, lower low. And then this area is the area that pushed through, right? This is the origination area. So I'm very interested in that. Okay, cool. Awesome. So once that comes back into this block and starts pushing away, that's when I would get in. Simple as that. Boom. So I don't know exactly where I would put that. I put this directly under this block. Again, this is gold, so that it can get wiki. So you don't have to be a hero. So you can essentially, again, go left and see if there's anything over there. You could put it under farther if you need a bigger stop. Maybe this is too dramatic for you. That's totally fine. Here's one. There's like a little thing you could put it under. Not that great. It's just a little bit extra cushion, right? So you could put it there if you want, but I'm just going to leave it where I had it. And we'll just see how that played out. Okay. first and foremost, where would I target? Yeah, this broke structure up, rejected this area. So I'm not looking to target here. I'd be looking to target here or up here. Okay. And I actually think I drew on a 15. Yeah. On the 4 hours. So I just drew from the body up to the top of the wick for a nice target area, because look at all this imbalance in the market. In my mind, it was just going to just smoke up to here, right? And I'm being very modest because here is a nice big block up here I could have targeted, but I'm like, okay, it'll at least go to this way in my brain, right? So let me go back. And we're looking for breaks of structure. Always look left. So here's the first area that I'd be very interested in to make sure that have the right idea, right? So I'm just pushing play and letting it go. All right, we broke structure and we're creating new higher highs and higher lows. And let's look left again. All right, are we breaking structure? Yeah, yes, we are. Okay, awesome. So this is where you could start putting fractal stops. I could move my stop to here. And then when it goes higher, I could move my stop to here. When it goes higher, I can move my stop to here and that kind of stuff. Now up here is pretty much like a double-ish top right here. And it took that out. Yeah, it took that out already. So I'm just looking for ways to stay in. You don't want it to come all the way down. How many, for the show of hands, I'm just curious, how many times have you been up like this? Put a 5 in the box. Let me know. How many times you've been up like this and let it go all the way back down to your break even? I used to do that all the time. That was ridiculous. Talk about, I don't know what's worse, losing your account or just losing everything, like seeing like $10,000 profit. And then all of a sudden you go back down to like negative 1,000 or something. And like, you just feel like such a failure. It's ridiculous. So I'm going to go to the 5 minute to speed this up. So what's a significant 5 minute high would be this, right? So if it breaks that, man, I'm just holding, right? Oh, smash through, really significant high broke through right here. I'm just holding, right? Really not even giving us a reason to get out. It's not even breaking any structures down. Do you see it? Just smash all the way up. So if you were to do a fractal stop, I would recommend, especially once it starts taking off and pushing away from you, to jump up to the 5 minute minimum and start using the fractals on that, right? So if you notice here, I'm just going to go through this. There was not one time that I can see where it pulled back, be wrong, where it pulled back and actually broke a low back. Okay. This isn't, because there was no low broke, right? You had low, higher high, lower, higher low, higher high right here. But that doesn't count as a breakdown, because this is just in between these two. So you got to pay attention to structure a lot, right? So really it's this higher high, higher low. If it would have broke this, I would consider just taking profit. So if you want to hold, you can hold, right? Then it comes up here. Look, nothing. There's nothing breaking any structure. I would have had to break this structure right here. And guys, these structures are mini order blocks, right? The power of order blocks is so freaking crazy. And then I'm constantly looking, okay, did it break structure again to the high? Yes, it did. Beautiful. So really there's no reason to get out. Let's just see when I would actually get out. If I were to get out up here, that would be right. Hold on, let me clear. Oh, right there. So you basically had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. That was basically a double top. Then this was in the middle, then break right there. That was your break. So if you weren't out yet, that was your first sign to get out. Does it always work like that? Absolutely not. Did I cherry pick the crap out of this? Not this fractal stop thing, but yeah, I went through, I found this awesome, amazing trade, but it's exactly how we trade. We trade off the 4 hour block and then switch to the 15 minute and trade off the 15 minutes is like a guide, right? So very simple, guys. So let me go to the next one so I don't hold you guys up here, because I actually have to go to the airport. Oh, I just realized that. Let me just go. Two of my kids basically coming. Did I get? No, I didn't get all that. Did I? Where am I at here? This is March 23rd. Oh, we're at the end of did I do a whole month back testing? Okay, I did. US30, really quick. Okay, same thing, 4 hour block. Last read before a push up. Why is it significant? Because it broke these structures. It took out all this liquidity, right? So it comes back down to this block. The first time you had this one right here. So let me go right here. Go to the 1 minute and let's check it out. So we had, now this one, this is why you want to put your stop a little higher, but this is also why I had a bigger stop, because it just came down here and wicked out this low. So this right here was my 1 minute significant low that broke through all this structure, came back down, wicked it out. Now I love it when it wicks out. When it wicks it out, what is it doing, guys? I'm just curious what you think is what's happening when that happens. It's not, oh no, we're being manipulated. That's actually a good thing, right? It's actually a good thing as long as the overall higher time frame. It's actually a really good thing that they take this out, because that's a great sign that it's not going to come back to that. Why? Because they knew there was a bunch of stops down here. What does that mean? It means that there was buyers, grabbing liquidity. So there was buyers here that all had stops here that were forced to sell when they came down here. The institutions literally forced them to sell at a lower price before taking off. And once you start seeing that, guys, it changes everything for you, right? It's not just silly little, no offense to anybody, supply or support and resistance. Supply and demand order blocks are in support and resistance. That's why they work, because it's all about order flow at the end of the day. So right here, if you weren't out, you could have got out right here. The other method to do is just wait 2 behind. So if it's just running and you're more of a holder, that you had 1, 2, 3, right? So that it would have to take you out here if you did 2. And then this needs to break the high. So let's just see what happens here. Higher time frame. My apologies. Right. Still hasn't break the second one yet. Going for those highs there. Let's see if we could even hold it. All right, there. If you weren't out, I don't know why you wouldn't. Actually, it would have been this one. No, it wouldn't have. No, it would have been this one. So if you weren't out, this would have been you would have been out for sure there. But my gosh, you could have literally grabbed 1 to 4 out of that. If it went sideways, me personally, I'm more of a scalper. So if I saw it coming down like this and it starts going sideways right here, especially for 20 minutes, I'm just out. I'll grab that 1 to 2 all day. I don't care what anybody says. 1 to 2 is a lot better than a 1 to 1, right? Or a 1 to 0.5. That's another issue I see a lot of people have. They're afraid to take the full profit, right? They see it, and they don't have a reason to even get out other than they're like, it looks good, I'm just grab it. And that's okay. If it doesn't emotionally control you, it's okay to do that, right? But yeah, so here's the second push down, right? So remember when I said when it wicks out the bottom, that's actually a good thing. So we're deeper in the order block, so it's amazing, right? We're focusing on this 4-hour order block to push away, right? This is a major order block right here versus a 1-minute candle, right? So what we're looking for is order blocks and breaks of structure right here. So what do we have? Let's wait. Comes down. All right, we're down here. And what makes this an order block? Let's see. We had that break right here, this little break right here. Okay, I didn't get in right here yet because it was weak, right? So what I would have done is I wait for it to break again, look for another block. It was in this area. And why is this block important? Like this came all the way down here and pretty much touched the top of this order block. And nothing's perfect, right? This came down here, touched this little area. So I'm not like, this isn't like a major order block. This came down and touched this order block. Like you can see, like this literally touched that. This literally came into that block. This literally almost came into that block. This pretty much touched the top of that block. The only one that was unmitigated, okay, and you don't even have to know what that means, is this area, right? So that's interesting to me, okay? So
fancy word for filled.
Filled, yeah. And if they have orders there they want to get out of, that's a great area for them to do it. Like let's say they moved too fast and they want to get out. I say they, Rockefeller, just kidding. The banks, right? So right here. So check it out. So this came down here, started wicking. It wicked again right here. And if you're not in there, you can get in here, pushing away from this area. Use your stop below this area. Where's a good target? Let me just look. 15-minute right here. Okay. Now you could have taken it right here a lot more safely, right? There's a good chance you'll always see a reaction off of an order block, and the market's fractal. So you'll see them come off the 1 minute, just like you'll see them come off the 1 hour, just like you'll see them come off the daily, just like you'll see them come off the monthly. We could show you that over and over again. It's undeniable proof. You don't have to figure anything out. It's pretty easy. Look at last green candle for the up movement or the down movement. Sorry. I take the body to the wick. Sometimes I'll take the bottom. It just depends. I'm not in love with this doji, but it is what it is. So let's just let it roll. Did that hit? Oh, it almost hit. So if you weren't at break even, which you could have re-entered down here, but let's just see. and just smashed. And again, if you weren't out, you could have gotten out right here. You could wait for this break of structure if you want. That I think that actually looks like it would have worked too. Watch. So technically you could have two behind. So it would have been this one and this one, which now moved to this one. So it broke this one and this one. If you're going to fractal stop it up, okay. And now you're even farther. You could literally you could have safely moved this stop all the way, this original trade right here, all the way to here. Why? Because you had this low right here, and then this low right here, essentially that low right there too. So essentially you could have it higher. I like to give it a little bit of space, but if you didn't get out up here, my gosh, you could have, now you have more. You have this one and this one you could essentially go for, but let's just say this one and this one. So you could move your stop all the way up to here. I'm talking about this trade. I didn't go into this trade yet. And it would have taken you out there. So that could have been a good year. It was 22%, not bad. If you start getting yourself into the right mindset, it's going to change everything for you. You know what happened is you got all these people out there like showing in, and I do well. I do very well. But I try not to show how well I do because I don't want people coming in for the wrong reasons. It's just all that does is jack everybody up. And if you're coming in trying to get rich off a $100 account or a $5,000 account or a $10,000 account, guys, the only reason I even teach right now is literally because you can leverage prop firms. That's the only reason I even teach, because before that, I had a bunch of rich friends that I helped. That was cool, but I didn't have a way to help average normal people just trying to make $5,000 plus a month. So with that said, you have to have that mentality. Rich people aren't going, oh my gosh, how can I get 20 to 30 to 40% off this freaking little account this month or whatever? They're trying to leverage their money and get a little bit of percentage per month. And that's how they get wealthier and wealthier. And they compound their freaking money over and over again. And before you know it, have you ever seen those charts, those sheets? Let me know, put a 6 in the box if you've seen those sheets that show you the compounding of just 1%. It's insane. Like how far that'll go. What's that one thing? You flip a penny every freaking day and turns into $1 million
in 30 days.
30 days.
Like 30 days, like a penny doubled every day or something crazy.
Yeah. So these hedge funds, all right, I want you to think about this, put this in perspective. These hedge funds and all these really rich people and all these really big accounts and all this money, they're making all this money off you. You know why? Because they're thinking bigger capital, right? And smaller wins. They're having huge, they don't even need stops, half these freaking people, right? They got like 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 pips, stop, whatever. They just leave it open and they're hedging nonstop. Like they're just playing everybody like a fool. So we want to ride with them, right? And we want to focus on small incremental percentages and consistently compounding, right? And I tell everybody in our one-on-one, if you have a problem with overtrading all this stuff, start trading 0.25%, okay? And start holding trades and you'll start realizing, oh my gosh, you can start seeing your average risk reward, right? Mine is like right around 1 to 7 if I'm being honest, and I am risking like 0.5 to 1% per trade. It's more like a 1 to 4, 1 to 5, right? I love 1 to 3 because mostly everybody can hit 1 to 3. But look, if you are risking 1% and you can't hold a full 1 to 3, drop it to 0.5%, right? Focus on that and then try to hold a 0.5 and don't think, oh man, if I would have just done 1%, I would have made 3%. No, be happy you freaking made 1.5%. The rich people do, the ones taking all your money, right? So this is the kind of mindset that I had to kind of change for myself before I started staying consistent. I started getting really excited when I'd make certain percentages. And last but not least, you see the people on the leaderboards, if they have leaderboards in the prop firms you've seen, maybe you haven't seen it. The ones that are getting like 20, 30, 40, 50% aren't the ones freaking keeping their accounts. Like they're not there usually the next month. On a very rare occasion, you'll see somebody there the next month. They either had this massive runner or they're risking way too high, or they're just trying to get as much out of their account before they blow it the next month or whatever the case. The average person that stays consistent is like 6 to 8%. And if I do better than that personally, but I'm not trying to break records. Like I'm not trying to kill it. So let me go into here. Let me just show you this one and then we'll try to button it up because it's already getting up. and I got to go pick up these kids. I got two 18-year-old twin boys like picking up. They're flying in from Ohio to Orlando, and they're basically like my sons. My other sons. In this area right here, 15-minute. Let me go down to the 1 minute just so I can show you this trade right here. And I don't think I'm going to get to NASDAQ tonight. I hope you don't mind, but it's the same thing. It really all trades the same to me anyways. I even tried US oil. It's just freaking, I love US oil, but definitely bigger stops, lower risk. All right. So what's the common theme of the night? Okay. This is the origination area, right? This is the one I'm interested in. Okay. I could have taken a trade here, but no, why would I? That didn't break anything over here yet. This one, I could have taken this trade actually and did a decent little scalp from this little block. Boom. This took this out, which is what did I say? It's awesome when that happens because there's no reason for them to come down again. And we know the overall direction, right? So this area here was untapped. I would be super excited about that. Let me take out this so you can see it. Take out this. We're in a 4-hour block. And this is the 1 minute. This tagged the 4-hour block. So now I'm interested in this area right here. Comes down, tags it, and get in. Done. Right. So what was that? Ends up being a, now me personally, I probably would have got out in here. Honestly, I don't think I would have held this whole thing because it was really just back and forth. It definitely wouldn't be holding this. That's my personality though. If you're the kind of person that could just literally leave the trade going overnight and let it roll and you don't care that, but you know, that's great. I'd rather just grab the money multiple times and be done for the day. Most of the time we're done like 15 to 30 minutes a day max, sometimes an hour if it's a really good market, but I try not to overtrade anymore. Any questions, guys? I got to get to the airport. I'm super, super excited that you guys were with us tonight. Thank you, Christian, for being here for the first 30, 40 minutes, sharing GER30 with everybody. The common theme, guys, is pay attention to the order block that originated the push away that broke structure. Okay. Focus on those blocks and you will do amazing, guys. And oh, last but not least, we do have, I have a program out right now. If you go to, I might as well share this right now with you. We're having a small case study group with our Pulse X. And it's an 8-week program. And let me just share that with you. And you could go hit me up on Instagram. If you're not following my Instagram anyways, please do. I'm trying to grow it. I just started it and I plan on putting a lot of money behind it. But just go to my Instagram at Big Pippin FX and then just message me trader. Okay. And then I'll give you all the information. I'll shoot you over a video or whatever. Give you all the information on my program. It's not my high ticket program. It's just a way that you can get your foot in the door and start getting 5+ coaching sessions with Christian for the next 8 weeks, and Bethany, who's not on here. She's funded over $1 million, and myself, and get access to my other indicators. So if you're interested, guys, go over to my Instagram, go to Big Pippin FX and message me trader. And then I'll get you the information. If not, totally cool. I try not to pitch on these too hard. If you haven't noticed, for the sake of this call, for my own survey, am I achieving my results yet? Because how many people have spent $197 a month in these programs before, and then you get something and you don't even get this kind of anything? So my goal is to wow you, whether you come in my higher programs or not. Yes, Michael, this is recorded. I want to help you guys out as much as humanly possible. I know this one's only $14.95 per month, but I'm trying to treat you like you are one of my one-on-one students as much as possible with my group coaching. For the sake of this, put a 7 in the box and don't put it if you don't mean it. You think this is worth $197 a month? Ultimately, what we shared with you was just the order blocks alone. Guys, people charge way more than this for way less. I promise you. I know this because I spent $180,000 plus learning from these people. So my goal is I wanted to come and share with you everything I got. And then if you want more training and more time with us and that kind of stuff, you can pay for it. If not, and this is what you can afford, that's totally cool. I totally appreciate your time and your money and the fact that you're even here with me, spending this hour and a half with me on a Tuesday night when you can be with your family. That shows a lot, and I really appreciate you. All right, guys, God bless. Take care. The recording will be here either tonight or most likely tomorrow.
I can bet it'll be tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.
My boy Bob takes a minute, but it'll be in the group.
All right. Cool. See you later, Christian.
Y'all be blessed.
God bless, guys. Take care. Back it out. Peace.